The world's first photograph, 1827. The first extant heliogravure is View from a Window in Le Gorat. It is considered to be the world's first photograph taken from nature. Created by French inventor Joseph Niepce on a plate coated with a layer of bitumen. It was exposed for about 8 hours. Earlier images taken with a pinhole camera have not been preserved. The invention of the daguerreotype, 1839. Niepce died in 1833 and did not have time to build on his success. But his case was picked up by Louis Daguerre. He developed the first commercially successful method of photography, which was called the daguerreotype. The process has become easier and it has made the photos more accessible. In 1839, Louis finally made an official report on daguerreotype at a joint meeting of the French Academy of Sciences and the Academy of Fine Arts. The world's first selfie, 1839. Very soon after the invention of Louis Daguerre, another pioneer in the field of photography improved the technology and reduced the exposure time for the daguerreotype plate to a minute. This man's name was Robert Cornelius, and it was himself who captured history in the first place. His self-portrait was the first ever clear image of a human face. On the back of the original, there is an inscription, "The world's first light painting." Now this picture is called the first selfie. The world's first color photograph, 1861. James Maxwell created the first color photograph using 3 black and white photographs. Each of them was taken through different color filters, red, green, and blue. The image was called tartan ribbon. The invention of the dry plate process, 1871. Richard Maddox created the dry plate process, which made it possible to use pre-prepared plates, thereby facilitating the photographing process and making it more convenient for travelers and reportage photographers. The creation of the Kodak camera, 1888. George Eastman released the first Kodak camera that used film instead of glass plates. This made the photos accessible to the mass consumer and greatly simplified the process. The world's first underwater photography, 1893. Louis Boutin, a French biologist and inventor, made the first successful underwater photography using specially designed equipment. In 1898, he published the first book on underwater photography, marine photography, and the progress of photography. Slides from there were shown at the 1900 World's Fair in Paris. The world's first Polaroid instant camera, 1948. Dr. Edwin Land introduced the first Polaroid instant camera, which allowed you to get ready-made photos in just a minute after shooting. First black and white, and a little over a decade later, the first color instant images. The oldest recorded photo. This painting may not show much, but it is known as the oldest painting in the world and was shot by Joseph Niepce behind one of the windows of his estate located in Saint-Louis in France. The picture was taken in 1826. Louis Daguerre. Niepce developed a heliographic technique that produced low-quality photographs that were expensive. More effective photography techniques were developed when Niepce teamed up with Daguerre in the 1830s. These methods used mercury vapor and iodine plates and were called daguerreotype, the oldest photograph of a living person. This picture was taken on Boulevard du Temple, which is located in Paris. The picture was taken in 1838 by Daguerre, and if you look in the lower left corner, you'll see a man polishing another figure's shoe. The first image of the moon. This image was taken by an English historian and scientist named William Draper. The photographer was taken in 1840 and is known as one of the earliest attempts made to capture images of the moon. Later, these attempts were improved with the help of more advanced technologies. The oldest digital photo. Most of the pictures taken today are digital. However, this was not always the case. For this reason, capturing digital images was once incredibly special, and the first and oldest digital image is even more incredible to watch. This digital image was taken in 1957. The oldest photo portrait of a woman. This is a portrait of Hannah Stilley, born in 1746. What's even more intriguing is that she was 30 years old when the United States was formed. 94-year-old Hannah Stilley was captured for centuries in 1840. Although the original daguerreotype of this portrait has not been preserved, the picture itself appeared in Alva Gorby's book, The Gorby Family, History and Genealogy, 1936. The first news photo. This is a snapshot of the arrest procedure in France in 1847. The daguerreotype of the incident is one of the oldest photos that accompanied the news. This is how the tendency arose to reinforce all news information with visual confirmation. The oldest photo of the Alamo. This 1849 daguerreotype is considered to be the oldest photograph of the Alamo Chapel. The photo was taken by an unknown author before the buildings of the Alamo Fortress were repaired and rebuilt in 1850 by the American Army. During the renovation, the exterior of the building was significantly changed. The first passport photo. The United States is considered the first country to use passport photos, and it has been mandatory since 1914. The United Kingdom followed the United States, followed by all other countries. This is a sample of an American passport dated March 2, 1915, with the very first photo discovered. The document belongs to 33-year-old Margaret Sanger, who traveled under the pseudonym Bertha Watson. President Abraham Lincoln, 1846. Abraham Lincoln can be considered one of the most influential and famous people in American history after his many works. Lincoln, who was born in 1809 and died in 1865, was influential because, having been elected president during one of the most difficult periods in American history, he paved his way to abolish slavery and establish stability in the country. The Library of Congress noted that this daguerreotype is one of the first pictures of Lincoln at the age of 37. When this photo was taken, he was a border lawyer in Springfield and one of the few elected congressmen from Illinois. Based on information provided by Gibson Harris, a law student who served in Lincoln's office, it is believed that this photograph was taken by Nicholas Shepard between 1845 and 1847. Charles Darwin, 1869. Charles Darwin was an English naturalist who was far superior to most famous scientists known in history and had a greater impact than most. He was born in 1809 and was the foundation on which modern evolutionary research was built and which has been sought to this day. Darwin played an important role throughout his life, as at the time of his death, evolutionary imagery was already a part of politics, science, and literature. The photo pictured here was taken by Julia Margaret Cameron, who was also responsible for filming other historical characters such as John Herschel and Alfred Tennyson. You can find a description of this photograph at the Victoria and Albert Museum, which details the life of Darwin and his family after moving to the Isle of Wight, where they rented a cottage and the privilege of being honored by such great people. Later, Cameron made an exact copy of the photo so that it would last longer. If you love vintage photographs and want to immerse yourself in the atmosphere of the past, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Here you will find unique snapshots, interesting stories, and captivating facts about celebrities and events that have left their mark in history. Support us with a like so we can continue sharing this amazing collection with you.